Okay, let's dive right into this explainer, because we need to talk about a massive trap so many people fall into when they're trying to build wealth. You know what's incredibly frustrating to watch? It's seeing people throw their hard-earned money at the stock market as if they're standing in a casino, just feeding coins into a slot machine. They get completely swept up in the hype, picking the next hot stock or trying to perfectly time the market while entirely ignoring their foundational financial steps. Treating the stock market like a game while neglecting the basics, it's a massive, incredibly expensive mistake. Pouring money into investments before your financial foundation is secure is exactly like trying to fill a bucket that has massive holes in the bottom. You can pour and pour, but you're never going to make any real progress. People absolutely love the idea of buying a Ferrari before they've even bothered to fix their current car's transmission. We see folks eagerly throwing cash at crypto or trendy ETFs, completely ignoring the fact that they're carrying credit card debt charging them 22% in interest. Mathematically, that high-interest debt is sitting there quietly destroying any potential market gains you could possibly hope to make. And the reality of our current financial landscape is surprisingly stark. 1 in 3 Americans doesn't even have an emergency fund. And the median amount Americans have saved for emergencies, it's a shocking $500. That figure is actually down from $600 just a year ago. Think about that for a second. $500 is literally less than most people's monthly car payment, yet these are often the very same individuals asking if they should be buying individual tech stocks. You simply cannot safely build wealth without a safety net. So today, we're going to walk through the exact architectural blueprint for your money. The agenda is straightforward. We'll cover the financial bucket trap, building the bedrock, the free money exception, the tax optimization zone, the ultimate secret weapon, and finally, the Wild West. We're moving sequentially from foundation to roof to maximize returns and minimize risk. Step 1. Building the bedrock, emergency funds, and debt payoff. Before investing a single dollar into the market, we absolutely must establish a psychological and financial safety net. Imagine building a house. You wouldn't install granite countertops on a cracked foundation, right? The very first step is protecting yourself from life's inevitable curveballs. We recommend a simple 3-step approach here. Save $1,000 as quickly as humanly possible, push that to cover 1 full month of living expenses, and eventually expand that to a 3-month buffer. Actually, Vanguard did some research on this and found that people with just $2,000 in emergency savings had financial well-being scores 21% higher than those with no savings at all. That buffer prevents you from making terrible, desperate choices, like selling off your investments at the worst possible time or reaching for a high-interest credit card when your car suddenly breaks down or an unexpected medical bill arrives. Once you've got that cash buffer in place, it's time to go on the offensive against bad debt. You want to attack any debt carrying an interest rate over roughly 8%. Now, there are 2 popular ways to do this: the debt snowball, where you pay off the smallest balances first to get a quick psychological win, and the debt avalanche, where you target the highest interest rate first. While the snowball definitely feels good, the avalanche mathematically saves you the most money. Let me put it this way. Carrying a $5,000 credit card balance at a 22% interest rate will cost you nearly $2,800 in interest over just 5 years if you only make minimum payments. So the crucial point here is that paying off that 22% debt is effectively a guaranteed 22% return on your money. That easily, and I mean easily, beats Warren Buffett's long-term average. Step 2 brings us to a plot twist: the free money exception, also known as your employer match. Okay, I know I just told you to ruthlessly eliminate high-interest debt before investing, but there is one major, incredibly important exception to this rule. If your company offers a 401k match, getting it is essentially a guaranteed 100% immediate return on your money. Even if you're aggressively paying down that 22% credit card debt, a 100% guaranteed return from your boss is simply too good to pass up. It's literally like finding free money lying on the ground that your employer has promised to double the moment you pick it up. You should contribute exactly enough to capture that full match, no more, no less, and then redirect all your remaining firepower right back to eliminating that high-interest debt. Moving on to Step 3, the tax optimization zone, which focuses on IRAs and 401ks. Once that foundational bedrock is set and you've secured your employer match, you want to prioritize an individual retirement account, or IRA, before putting any additional funds into your employer's 401k. Why? Well, corporate 401k plans are notorious for offering a really limited menu of expensive mutual funds with management fees of 1 to 2%. Those fees act like termites, just slowly eating away at the foundation of your wealth. An IRA gives you the control to access low-cost index funds that charge practically nothing, which can save you tens of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. But setting up either account means answering one massive question: do you pay the IRS now or later? Traditional accounts give you a tax break today,
but you pay taxes when you withdraw the money in retirement. Roth accounts require you to pay taxes upfront on your current income. But, and this is huge, all your growth and future withdrawals are completely tax-free. Generally speaking, young workers in lower tax brackets should lean heavily towards Roth accounts. High earners at the peak of their careers usually prefer traditional accounts to lower their current tax burden. And if you're really not sure, splitting your contributions between both is a fantastic way to create tax diversification for your future self.
Next up is Step 4, the ultimate secret weapon, health savings accounts.
Oh man, this step genuinely excites financial nerds everywhere. If you have access to a high-deductible health plan, this is an opportunity you absolutely cannot afford to ignore. It's widely considered the most underutilized investment vehicle in America. The HSA is the Swiss Army knife of investing because it boasts a rare triple tax advantage. First off, you get a tax deduction when you put the money in. Second, that money grows completely tax-free while invested in the market. And third, when you withdraw that money to pay for qualified medical expenses, those withdrawals are 100% tax-free. It's literally the only account that rewards you on the way in, during the growth phase, and on the way out. The ultimate strategy here is to actually pay for your current medical costs out of pocket if you can afford it, let the funds inside the HSA stay invested in compound tax-free, and then reimburse yourself decades later by simply keeping your receipts.
The math on this is just staggering. If you were to max out your HSA contributions for 30 years and achieve a pretty conservative 7% annual return, you could build a stockpile of over $400,000 in completely tax-free money. So why does this matter? Because the average couple retiring today is going to spend over $300,000 on healthcare costs throughout their retirement. Properly utilizing an HSA can essentially make one of retirement's biggest, scariest financial risks completely disappear from your budget.
Finally, Step 6, the Wild West, referring to taxable investment accounts.
All right, once you have your emergency fund, you're debt-free, you've captured your match, maxed out your IRA, maxed out your HSA, and then gone back to max out the remainder of your 401k up to the $23,500 limit, we finally arrive at taxable accounts. Notice this is the absolute last step, it's the place everyone foolishly tries to start. Understanding exactly why starting here is a mistake comes down to two words: tax drag. Tax drag is the constant year-over-year erosion of your investment returns caused by having to pay the IRS for dividends and capital gains along the way. Putting your money into a standard taxable brokerage account before you've completely maxed out your tax-advantaged accounts is like trying to run a marathon while someone keeps throwing sand in your shoes. You might still finish the race, sure, but it's going to be significantly harder and slower than it ever needed to be.
And the true staggering cost of that sand in your shoes is massive. Let's say you invest $10,000 a year for 30 years, earning a 7% return. If you do that inside a tax-advantaged account like an IRA or 401k, you end up with roughly $944,000. But if you make those exact same investments with the exact same returns in a taxable account, paying taxes on dividends and gains along the way, you might end up with closer to $700,000. That is nearly a $250,000 difference purely because the government is taking their cut every single year. You only want to use taxable accounts once all your tax-sheltered buckets are entirely full, or if you need bridge funding for early retirement.
So, it all comes down to this final, vital question. Are you building an impenetrable financial fortress, or are you just feeding coins into a slot machine? By strictly following this exact sequential order: emergency fund, high-interest debt, employer match, IRA, HSA, remaining 401k, and finally taxable accounts, you are methodically constructing a massive foundation for wealth. You're doing the critical work while everyone else is distracted trying to guess the next Tesla.